Toxic Tackle here. Got a quick tip video for y'all. We've already progressed from using all our hand tools and making a lure, which most all of us should have drills and hand saws and that kind of thing. So today we're going to talk about some of the other tools you should buy if you want to improve your lure making, and they'll help you a tremendous amount. So first tool that I would buy if I was getting into lure making, and you can use them for more than just lure making, you can use them for anything. Number one, a Dremel. You definitely need a Dremel tool. There's so much you can do with this, lure making wise and around the house. You need a lure making tool. Mine's a Dremel brand. It doesn't have to be. Most all the accessories and stuff work good, but Dremel has a really good selection of tools. This is a Dremel Moto tool model 395, and it has a wand on it, which makes it easier to use. And I have a couple different Dremels, so that's the number one tool recommendation, power tool that you need to buy in lure making. Right. The number two tool that I would 100% recommend if you want to get into making lures, a scroll saw or a benchtop band saw. They're relatively inexpensive. You can also use them around the house for other stuff, but it allows you to make real precise cuts in your balsa wood without using a hand saw and that kind of thing. So this would be number two on my list of power tools you should buy for lure making. And the bandsaw works just as good. I prefer the scroll saw, which I have a bandsaw also, but I prefer the scroll saw with a flat blade, not a multi-directional blade. But you might have your own preference once you start doing it and cutting out different kinds of wood. So that's number two on my list of lure making power tools you should have. Number three on my recommendation of tools you should buy, an airbrush. It does not have to be an expensive airbrush. This is a relatively expensive Pache, or no, a Wata Eclipse, but airbrush, air compressor, and an airbrush. It doesn't have to be an expensive one starting out, but an expensive one does pay off. It does paint better. I have learned you get better results, but I've got some inexpensive ones that work just fine, especially for starting out. So this would be my number three recommendation on a tool that you need to buy for your shop for lure making. Number four on the tools I recommend you buy, power tool wise, as far as lure making goes, most definitely be a drill press. It does not have to be a floor model drill press or an expensive drill press. It can be a bench top, lighter weight, lighter duty. This is a Central Machinery 16-speed floor drill press. It is the best tool you can have in your shop by far as making holes and sanding and stuff like that, because you saw on my video where I put my sanding drum in the drill press and you can spin it real fast. So that's number four that I recommend tools you should buy for lure making. Number five, this is a hand tool, not a power tool, but I do recommend you buy this tool as you progress in your lure. It doesn't have to be this exact one. This is a Boggs tackle maker. You put your wire goes in here, and you bend a loop. You can make R-bends for spinner baits or whatever, but you bend your loop, then you feed it in here and put it over this pin, and it'll make really pretty loops. But you don't have to buy this expensive one. You can buy the hand tool. It's about 15 bucks, but it is worth every penny to make very good bends in the wire. Even though it's not a power tool, you can't use it for much around the house other than making lures. This is going to be the next one on my list just because it is important. Right. Next on my list of importance, you can use this one for a lot of stuff, especially if you do any woodwork. It would be a belt sander. This is not an expensive belt sander. It's a Dayton 2x6 belt sander, and it has a disc sander on the end, and it has a place you can hook a shop back. You can make your lure making tools as far as your wood patterns and stuff. This right here will help you doing that, but this would be the next one, and you can use it for other stuff also. A couple other notable tools. I'm not going to list these in any real number of priorities, but lathe. If you want to get into turning some wood, making some top water baits and stuff, it's not that great for balsa wood. It's hard to chuck up the soft balsa wood in it, but cedar and stuff on white pine for prop baits or poppers or whatever. Maybe even a bench grinder. You can use that for some things in lure making. And a shop vac to clean up your mess. Right, that was just a quick video on the things that I recommend buying when you want to progress from just hand tools to some power tools. And it's just my opinion. That's the things I use most in order of importance to me as far as making lures at home. And then I did want to give a quick shout out to Paul Adams. If you haven't seen his YouTube videos, they're awesome. He makes some really cool baits by hand on YouTube. He's got a ton of videos. Check him out. Thanks.